Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. It's so greatly appreciated. It truly is. Before we start, let me give you my usual disclaimer that this video is for educational purposes only. Please do not take what I say as facts. Please always do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Next, if you have not liked, subscribed, or commented yet, please consider doing so. It really helps me out. Only takes a couple seconds, and I would really appreciate it. And with that, let's get started. Elias Otero was born on November 19th, 1996 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, to parents Luis and Alicia Otero. He has 4 siblings, 2 brothers, Jacob and Nicholas, and 2 sisters, Delilah and Aaliyah. He was described as being loved by many, having a great sense of humor, always trying to make people laugh, brave and strong. He was very protective of his family, and he always tried to be the voice of reason in any situation. He graduated from the Department of Corrections and was a corrections officer at the Metropolitan Detention Center before deciding to take a job as a postal worker. And he had also just proposed to his girlfriend, so they were in the middle of planning a wedding. February 11th, 2021, 18-year-old Annabella Dukes would meet Nicholas Otero via the Snapchat app, and convince him to meet up with her in person at Alvarado Park in the early hours of the morning. Nicholas would later tell police that he picked up Dukes in his red Lexus and the pair drove to the park. On the ride over, Dukes was asking him random questions like, where do you keep your money and do you have any guns? Along with complimenting him on his diamond-encrusted necklace. He went on to tell police that during the ride to the park, he noticed that Dukes had somebody on her phone listening to every word that they were saying to each other. When they arrived at the park, Nicholas was met with Duke's 17-year-old boyfriend, Adrian Avila, and a third suspect. He was pulled from the vehicle where the 3 demanded money, jewelry, and a gun from him. What the hell is wrong with people these days? I just don't understand. After this, they made the victim FaceTime his brother and demand that he bring money and a gun outside or they would Nicholas. It is alleged that they drove Nicholas to the family home where Elias Otero also lived. When they got there, he told his mother that he wasn't giving them anything. He grabbed his gun because he was a corrections officer and he had a license to carry. And he went outside threatening to if they did not let his brother go. It's at that point that Adrian Avila, the 17-year-old, shot and killed Elias Otero.
They took everything from us.
Investigators say February 11th, Elias's younger brother met a girl online. He picked her up in a red Lexus. It turned out to be a setup.
My youngest son was carjacked, and they wanted more than my car. They wanted his jewelry. They stripped him down. They took his credit cards, whatever money he had on him, but they wanted more money.
Police say 17-year-old Adrian Avila and 18-year-old Annabella Dukes forced Elias's little brother to drive to Elias's home in southwest Albuquerque, telling Elias they had his brother at point and wanted cash.
Very traumatic for all of us, and it's something we're going to have to live with for the rest of our lives. They drove him to my other son's house, Elias.
Police say the suspects demanded cash and a gun. The criminal complaint shows the carjackers had an AK-47 to Elias's brother's head, that they FaceTimed Elias and said they would hurt his brother if he didn't come outside with money. Elias's family says was protective, a former corrections officer with MDC who had just taken a job with the Postal Service.
My oldest son says, we're not giving him anything.
Police say Elias right in front of his family. His little brother managed to get away. The criminal complaint says the suspects used the same MO on another man the day before, with Annabella luring him on social media, only to be set up and carjacked. As for Avila, the criminal complaint shows he is no stranger to police, that he was part of another homicide investigation last year.
We hurt every day. We can't sleep. We can't sleep or nothing, and we just want these people caught.
So stupid. Just so stupid and pointless. Oh, God. Nicholas was luckily able to escape the situation unharmed. But again, just because somebody is not hurt physically, that in no way means that they were not hurt emotionally. And from what I've gathered, this was a really close family that loved and protected each other. And Nicholas will most likely carry this guilt with him every day for the rest of his life. December 27th, 2021. Adrian Avila turned himself into police and he was charged with first degree kidnapping, 2 counts of armed robbery, conspiracy to commit a felony, and tampering with evidence. And this is also not Avila's first brush with the law. In 2020, he was part of a separate investigation. Annabella Dukes was charged with 2 counts of kidnapping, 2 counts of armed robbery, and tampering with evidence. Police tracked her down and arrested her in January of 2022. This is not Duke's first rodeo either. Perfect couple. She has lured men before on Snapchat. Detectives found messages between her and another man just one night before the incident with Elias. The victim in this case told police that he was set up by a woman that he met on Snapchat. Then when he arrived at Alvarado Park, 2 armed men jumped out and robbed him. Which is pretty much the same thing that happened to Nicholas, except his brother. Adrian Avila pled not guilty, and a New Mexico judge... Oh, God. Ugh. This is just... I want to bash my head against the wall with this one. A New Mexico judge allowed him to be released on an ankle monitor while he waits his trial, saying that he poses no threat to society, even though he's been involved in 2 homicide investigations.
One decision.
I could not believe what had just happened.
Bringing on a brand new wave of grief for the Otero family.
I was absolutely devastated.
A judge let their son's suspected killer, Adrian Avila, out of jail on a GPS monitor Tuesday.
There was a lot of evidence, and to hear that was just heartbreaking. I just know that he's dangerous. He's dangerous to the community. He's dangerous to law enforcement officers. He's a danger to us. We're scared right now for ourselves, for our son that he did kidnap.
Nor is he a flight risk. He was granted this freedom due to the Arnold tool, which is a risk assessment tool that was created by the Laura and John Arnold Foundation. And Avila scored a 2 out of 7 on the test. That's great. What's your point? Ted Bundy passed his lie detector. I don't care what your test says. I'm sorry, I just don't. He was involved in 2 murder investigations. I'm going to say he's probably a danger to society. That's just my opinion. Annabella Dukes pled guilty to armed robbery with a firearm, conspiracy, and 2 other charges. The and kidnapping charges were dropped. and she will serve 5 to 15 years behind bars.
Suspects in a robbery scheme that ended in murder took a plea deal today. Anna Dukes was in court this afternoon where she took a plea deal for her part in the death of Elias Otero. Dukes admitted using social media to lure a man to a park. APD says Dukes and Adrian Avila took the man to a home near 98th and Tower. Once there, the victim's brother, Elias Otero, tried to stop them, but was allegedly shot and killed by Avila. She pleaded guilty to armed robbery with a firearm enhancement, conspiracy, and 2 other charges, with murder and kidnapping charges being dropped. As part of this plea agreement, she will serve between 5 and 15 years behind bars. Dukes will be sentenced at a later date. Avila is charged with first-degree murder. He has pleaded not guilty.
All right, guys, if you're still here, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you so very much. I truly, truly appreciate you. If you have any case suggestions, please email me, harding527@yahoo.com. And until next time, stay safe out there.